welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Onward VR Master League. The sun has set on another work week, but the sun has risen on a weekend of delicious Onward action. I am Noman with a 4, and I am here with my good friend and co-caster, Mr. Sleepy. Sleepy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, everybody.
Oh boy. Oh, chat. I think we all know what that means. Sleepy's got the mic. It's so nice. It's a nice mic. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Gotta thank the community for it, honestly, because it was by your bit donations and your subscriptions that I was able to do this and improve my equipment to bring you guys a better cast. But Noma, intro everybody into today's matchup. I have to step away for just a moment, but I will be right back.
Yeah, absolutely, and I will do just that. So you may have seen some bans and a map choice come out there. I'm not sure what happened with the War Room, but those have not all come in yet. But the matchup we've got, we can talk about because it's a juicy one. Ember versus the Killettos. So these are two teams that are relatively new. So Ember's been around, I think, for about maybe 2 seasons, just about 2 seasons. And the Killettos obviously is a new team that's come around this season. An all-female, well, mostly female, I should say, cast. And both of these teams, you know, they're having that sort of early season struggle right now in trying to, you know, claw their way up out of the bronze ranks. And this matchup was bound to happen. And we're excited to see it because both teams have been putting up some really good plays on both sides of the field. Ember started off a little slow this season, actually going about 0-5, I think. And Killettos are, I believe, 0-3 right now. Ember's grabbed a couple of wins since then, but Killettos are still looking for their first one. So we are going to be jumping into the lobby here in a moment, and then we'll go through and discuss bans. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the match page and just talk quickly about the teams. So on the Ember side, we've got Hailfire, Vortex, Milkman, Quokka, Rob, Riley Duggan, and SliderCon, along with Switch there, so I apologize, the graphic is a little cut off. But on the Killettos side, we've got Ferris, Aquafighter, Lydia Chlamydia, Venoram, Sky Delacille, and the Pink Stingray. So that is the lineup for both teams. And we are just reaching out now to the Killettos team and grabbing their ban from them. And once we have that, we will discuss the bans upon Sleepy's return, and then hopefully get ourselves into a nice good clean match. All right. And we do have the bans confirmed, so we can jump into discussing them. Let's head on over to the War Room and talk about the bans. So again, I'm not sure why my War Room is highlighting stuff when I'm not highlighting them, but we'll figure that out later. So let's discuss the bans. From the Ember side, we are seeing a ban of Cargo. Cargo will be the first ban coming out. And the second ban from the Killettos side is going to be Bazaar. Sleepy, what do you think about those bans?
Well, you know, personally, I hate to see Bazaar banned just because I love casting and love watching that map. However, you know, it is what it is. The team doesn't feel strong enough on it, so they've banned it, and I can understand that. Cargo, I'm not too sure why. If that was Ember's ban, if I'm correct. Yeah, not too sure why that is. Maybe you can actually give us more insight as to why Ember might have banned that, considering you're so close to them being a member of the Inferno family.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the choice is tough. We are still separate entities in there, so I don't have a lot of insight into Ember's map decisions. But if I had to guess, I think that the Killettos team is sort of a strong short-range team right now. They play best when it's close quarters. I know the Pink Stingray likes to run a shield, for example, and they've been practicing a lot of grenade utilization. So a map like Cargo gives them maybe a bit of an advantage on the tactics they've practiced so far. So maybe Ember just feels like they don't want to, take that sort of coin toss and take the chance on, maybe nades ending the series for them, and try to take them to maps where a little bit more skill is required. And speaking of which, we'll talk really quickly about the first map we're going to be seeing, which is Suburbia. So now this map, I think, was one of the first maps that the Killettos had practiced on, so it was a big bonus map for them. So I'm surprised to see Ember pick into it and then take the Marsoc advantage, but then again, they may not have that, insider information, as it were. But I think we're going to be seeing a good match here. I think both teams have been practicing a lot on Suburbia, and it's a map that I would expect to see from, two relatively newer teams, because it is that sort of tight, close quarters, but still requires the coordination and the team play to really pull off any successful, offensive pushes. But what are your thoughts on Suburbia, Sleep?
My thoughts on it are it's an old map now. It's been in the game for a long time. I think a lot of people, even if they haven't been playing competitively for very long, have probably been playing Suburbia for a long time. I remember it used to be kind of the go-to comp lobby starter map. You could just throw on Suburbia and just wait for everyone to hop in. And yeah, so I don't dislike the map. I personally have always kind of underperformed on this map, but I've never been much of a CQB player. I've always been better at the long-range engagements and working between cover to cover to get myself where I need to be. And Suburbia, I could never really get to click. I didn't perform poorly, but it's just not my strongest map. So I don't know. I'm a little biased, I guess. But it's good for the action, I'll say that much.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a very exciting map. We've seen a ton of great plays from teams all around the league on here. Just as recently as I think SMC Phoenix played a great match on here. There was a pretty good Animal House round versus Valor, where they sort of came back and scored 5 unanswered points with a cap to culminate it. So we see lots of great plays, but I think it's also very much objective based. So for example, the objective we're likely going to start on here very soon is the South Garage objective. And this one, it's just such a tough cap to make. And actually has an interesting tie-in that Animal House cap was on this objective. But it's such a difficult one to approach just because the defense sort of has their back to a wall strategically, and the offense has to pull out basically all the stops. We saw pre-fire, we saw smoke utilization, we saw check nades coming out. All kinds of great coordination coming out from Animal House there, and I'm excited to see what these two teams bring in terms of that kind of coordination here on Suburbia as well. So yeah, I'm excited for this matchup for sure. While we wait for the teams to ready up, and I'm sure they're going to start while I'm talking, I do want to make a quick announcement about the new emotes that I believe just went live today, Sleepy. And
yeah, they've already been used a few times in chat.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's going to be some interesting chat moments, but we do have 3 new emotes coming out on the Onward Master League channel. We've got in the tier 1, we've added Onward Clutch, which gives you the ability to spam a clutch moment if you're feeling your team is going to eke out a win. And then for tier 2 subs, so that's $10. The tier 2 sub gives you the boom, or the Onward boom
Basically
emote.
the grenade. Grenade.
And that's to hail your favorite grenade toss of the game and toss a few nades of your own in the chat. And then for the gold tier subscription, for the tier 3, we've got the cap emote. Those of you that have been around in the Twitch chat long enough in a lot of these games know that is a very well often spammed text, and now we've given you a nice colorful little Marsoc Invoke flavored cap emote that you can use to cheer on your team, and hopefully get them that cap. So if you guys haven't subbed, or if you have your Twitch Prime subs and you haven't dropped those, definitely love the support coming out from you guys there, and a little bit more incentive for you guys to help out the casting team. All that goes into, well, basically Sleepy's mic, but it does go to the casters and their equipment, so we can keep bringing all this wonderful action to you guys day in and day out. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us in the chat for that.
Absolutely, we do appreciate it. And again, yeah, that's, you know, my brand new sound, if you will, comes from you folks there at home. All your subscriptions, all your bits that have been donated. Now, this one was from a little while back. This was from basically over the holiday break and whatnot. But you know, this is exactly what we do. You're seeing your quote unquote investment at work, if you will. We're using this to continuously try and improve the league, improve the casts, and I think maybe after today's little drop of news, maybe that's a good relief for some folks out there in the community. So
yeah, absolutely. And I am seeing those emotes coming out. I had to go drop my own sub on this channel. I mean, are you gonna cast this and not drop your own cap emotes and throw the chat off? But appreciate everybody turning out for those. I do want to thank, sorry, I forgot to thank the designer of those, the Pink Stingray, from the Killettos, in fact. So, well, coming full circle here. And making those emotes for us and helping us out, getting those into the community. We appreciate you. And we're going to appreciate you in such a big way because we are diving into our first round of the first map here on Suburbia, Ember and Killettos.
I love it. The Killettos, the last cast I watched of them, their kind of team huddle was concluded by a large chant of murder, and then today it seems that it's something different. I've forgotten what they said, but it was funny. Got me chuckling in my chair.
Yeah, absolutely, and shots ringing out onto the center house. Quokka stuck in a corner there, not going to find Sky, who is upstairs, but she does get that call out to her team that she's hearing footsteps on the backside of the house.
Yeah, she did call that out. She called center house, but then she immediately threw a frag. So, and that's something that, you know, will contribute to mostly with the fact that the Killettos are a bunch of mostly new players. A lot of them have been putting it, I mean, the team in general has been putting in a lot of work since they came into the league, but still some work to be done. So I think Sky would have been better off holding that grenade a little bit. I don't blame her for doing it because, of course, I mean, if you hold them back, that can be just as good. But yeah, we're now, unfortunately, though, Rob gonna get in there and take down Sky de la Ciel, and unfortunately, Lydia Chlamydia is gonna get a little spooked and take down Phenaram.
Yeah, it was just a down, so they do still have the revive available. She's in a decent spot for this. Shots ringing out onto Pink Stingray's position from Rob up in the center house. And we will dive outside and take a look at this Ember approach from the sky. So we are seeing all 5 members of the offense still up. Switch watching the flank there, and Slider and Hailfire coming up this lane. The one laying down some fire along with Rob. Quokka's going to grab Phenaram there in the smoke, and a quick double for him. He's going to grab Lydia as well before Aquafighter shuts him down. And now it's just up to the last 2 members of Killettos on the objective here. Smokes are now coming out heavy from that lane 1. Frag landing on the inside of the house. They're not going to catch anybody, but a good attempt nonetheless. And suppressive fire is coming out very heavily from that center house position. Rob making sure his team has ample opportunity to move up here.
You are absolutely right. And it is a 2v4 now. The Killettos Aquafighter and the Pink Stingray would be Thunder Pilot and Otto's sister, Aquafighter, and Pink Stingray, someone near and dear to Noman's heart, holding it down for the Killettos as... Oh, and a nice C4 from Pink Stingray is going to get her a kill and stop the push onto the objective, and they were coming very close, so that was a good C4. Unfortunately, Rob's going to pick her up as she pushes out from cover a bit, and she will get punished for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and a great C4 play there. I mean, couldn't have really waited any longer because you didn't really know the push that was going to happen, but the trade comes out between Rob and Aqua, and Ember are going to go up 1-0 on this first round of Suburban.
All right. Seeing some good stuff there. A few first round jitters coming out there. Of course, we did see that team downing from Lydia Chlamydia to Phenaram from the Killettos side, which ultimately ended up with who was that? Quokka, I believe that slid over and got that double, or was that Slider?
Yeah, that was Quokka grabbing the double there at the burning house porch before being down by Aqua Fighter. Great play by him there to really quickly decimate that east side of the map. And that was a really good controlled approach by Ember, right? They threw their smokes, they forced out rotations from Stingray and Aqua, they made them leave their sort of entrenched positions, and it worked out for them in the end there. But, you know, I'm always one for loving me some C4 kills, and that pink Stingray C4 could easily have gotten 2 members if Ember had gotten a little too aggressive. But great plays on their sides. Now Ember's going to be defending that same objective. We'll see if Killettos can bring anything else to the table to try to get them a Marsoc win.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I haven't really had much chance. I've watched a few VODs of the cast of Killettos, but I haven't had much chance to cast them yet. So I'm interested to see what kind of coordination they can pull out here. From what I understand, they've been trying to work on that a lot in their scrims and practicing lately. So we'll see if that's coming to fruition here. But, you know, anything else, it's really just going to take time. The Killettos and a lot of new teams in general, they do take their lickings for a while, unfortunately, in the league, and you do have to just kind of tough it out, ride it through, and just keep pushing. And, you know, it's like this one guy once said, if you're not losing, you're not learning.
Yeah, who was that guy?
I don't know.
He sounds smart. And
I think he thinks he's smarter than he really is, but it's fine.
That's usually the case. But we are diving into round 2 of map 1. Killettos on offense. See where the push is going to come from here. I'm interested to see what their offensive setup's going to be like. It looks like they're mirroring pretty closely what Ember had tried to do, although they are committing the one into lane 3.
Yeah, they better slow down a little bit, though, making a lot of noise. I like that they use the speed to gain some real estate, but now they're getting close to the defenders, so they're gonna need to kind of turn that stealth on a little bit to maybe try and catch the edge. We got Aqua Fighter here. She might be finding 201. Will she know the switch is there? Will she know to check the spot? I don't think so, and this could be just kind of one of those newcomers' faults that we see, but she will start checking the spot now. She pulls her tablet out. Ooh, Switch doesn't hear it. Does he hear the smoke?
I mean, if he pops up now, Pink Stingray is going to be all over him, so he really has to be as patient as possible. He can grab this pick here, and he does indeed do that. But now Pink should have heard those. Yeah, she heard those shots. She's just not sure where exactly they came from, and lots of pre-fire coming down from the Killettos side onto the defense, but nothing has landed just yet.
Yeah, I'm loving the suppressive fire with the LMG from Killettos here. That's definitely a smart choice on this map. Unfortunately, Quokka eventually figures out where Sky to Ciel is and comes down and takes a shot from upstairs. Phenaram doesn't seem to have any knowledge of what's happened, though. He's still, I believe he's inside there. Yeah, he's inside. Quokka's just sitting there ready to take the kill, though, and Pink Stingray is actually backing off a bit. I don't know if that's to be able to call out or what's going on, but it seems that Quokka might see it or hear it, and he does. He pops up in the window and takes down the Pink Stingray.
So now we've got Phenaram going up the stairs. Rob's going to grab him from across the center house. Quokka confirms, and it's all up to Lydia against a full squad.
And here comes the defender. Will Lydia see it? No, she's going to have a smoke grenade, I think that was, in her hand, ready to throw. And she turned to look, and unfortunately she didn't have a weapon ready to be able to stop the defender from just kind of demolishing her there. But, you know, overall, seeing some good ideas. I think, you know, it's just going to take that practice right now for Killettos. But it's not over anyways. It's just the second round. We've got plenty more rounds tonight to cover. So positive attitudes.
That's right. That's right. The team's got to have it more than anybody else. I mean, no matter how far down you are in a match, you should always be focusing on that next round. One of the things I try to tell my team on a relatively regular basis is don't focus on the mistakes we just made. Focus on the round that's coming up. The objectives change, the side has changed. There's more work to be done. If you get hung up on, you know, oh, we lost 2 rounds or 3 rounds, you're shooting yourself in the foot almost literally.
Yeah, morale is a big part of this game. Keeping a clear head, making sure you're just focused on what you have to do. Try not to let each round cause you any sort of trouble. Because, yeah, exactly. You really can't let what happened a minute ago dictate what you're about to do in your upcoming round. So to me, I really feel like, yeah, I mean, it's just new team jitters and new team, you know, bugs and kinks that just have to be worked out. We've seen all kinds of teams do it. Pretty sure Ember this season, or when they first started, went 0-5 before they got their first win. And so, you know, everyone goes through it. You just have to learn how to kind of not let it affect you and just keep pushing. That's all it really takes.
Yeah, absolutely. And really practice, you know, and that's
Yeah.
true everywhere for everything. The more time you put into it, the more time you spend playing, the better you're going to get. And these teams are doing just that, and having these tapes is a great way to study in the future. So we're glad we're able to cast these lower tier matchups and help the teams improve as well. And we are going to see how much they've improved round to round as we get into round 3 of map 1.
That's right, we're just 1 second away from the spawn box opening, and there it goes. Now it's Ember on the push. Rob's gonna put some suppressive fire down lane 3, and he's already picked up Chlamydia.
Yeah, and a great pre-fire working out there. Not often you'll see a pre-fire work on this map. A lot of teammates will usually let you know that you don't want to cross a particular area, especially when you hear the gunfire early. But Lydia there, hoping to make it across, and not working out for her. Slider here could catch out Sky if she's not careful. I believe he is watching that direction. But seeing through those bushes can be pretty difficult. More suppressive fire coming out from Rob, I believe, onto the spawn house.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what he's shooting at, but oh, now he finds one. He finds a pink stingray down by the tank, and he's gonna get that one. But before that, I couldn't tell what he was shooting. I think he was just suppressing, maybe.
Yeah, Switch is going to find Sky on the backside. Hailfire did trade with Phenaram in the center house, but it was just a down on the Ember side. So let's see how their approach happens here. Aquafighter, the only remaining member of the Killettos now.
Oh no, this is not good. The smokes are out, and Quokka's on the other side of the tank. He's got Tab out. We're seeing a cap here, and this is not good. Aquafighter, unfortunately, is just not ready for this.
Yeah, you have got to be ready.
She's out in the open, but the team is not going to kill her. And Quokka, will he ever get that cap? Come on, Quokka, I believe in you. Oh, no! But Rob kills Aquafighter before Quokka is able to get the code in, and that is disappointing. But I will say, Rob, you got to be quicker than that, because you can't let your team just, you know, be in danger of a defender. Because you never know, that person might be a dead eye and just be able to lay out your whole team because they're not willing to shoot them while you're capping. So gotta work on those cap speeds a little bit, but otherwise a great round from Ember, and Killettos will just barely manage to stay in this map with that unfortunate kill from Ember.
Yeah, I think that was Quokka on the cap, but I'm gonna let him have it. Between Quokka and Rob, they are 6-1 on the map so far. Both doing a great job for their teams. Mostly, I think, machine gun fire at that point. I think Rob, you know, if we're doing a bullet to kill ratio, a little low, but that pre-fire early catching him out, and then a little bit more pre-fire onto the spawn house catches out Pink Stingray. And he's grabbing himself 2 there before he gets that last kill. And, you know, honestly, if I was the teammate there, I'd get a little annoyed too. It's like, what are you doing? Are you playing Angry Birds on your tablet, or are you capping?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, maybe I'm just spoiled from being a former dangler and, you know, probably some of the fastest cappers in the league. But yeah, it's tough. You got to work on that stuff. I mean, even if it means going into you know, private lobbies with your own team and just having people switch around to the Marsoc side and have everyone else on defense just so the round can run, and just run up to the objective and just practice typing that code in. Just practice typing that code in and time it. Maybe have someone on the objective with their rifle and they give you 6 seconds to cap, and if you don't cap in those 6 seconds, they kill you. You know, kind of give you a fight or flight kind of situation to have to deal with while you're there capping, because it can get very tense, and being able to deal with those nerves and still think clearly and remember that code is very, very important in this game. So definitely something that should be worked on.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are going to work on it here as we dive into round 4, map 1.
All right, Killettos, I want to see you pull a point out here. It is time. Let's see if the Killettos, oh no, they don't get the same spawn that Ember got. I was going to see if maybe they return the favor and pre-fire lane 3, similar to how Rob did in that last round.
We are seeing a very aggressive push here from Slider. And Sky is going to spray him with that M1 shotgun and just destroy him through the fence.
This is only the second person I've ever seen use a shotgun in the league, but this is definitely one of the maps to use it on. That is for sure. If I were Sky, though, I think I would go ahead and push over to that defender and take his other prime. Well, no, because then she might lose her shotgun.
Yeah, she is now going to push up the center here. Hellfire's going to grab Aqua, though, on that quick rotation. Oh, and Sky goes for the blind shotgun around the corner. Sky's not going to be able to pull that off. And Switch is going to grab the confirm there. She goes down. It's a 4v3, so they've taken down one member early. Slider's aggressive position not paying off for him there. We've got Lydia here on lane 4, and let's take a look at the other members of Killettos. So a little bit lagging here. Pink Stingray not moving up into a position that could give her any visibility on the enemy. But she's going to have to regroup with her team, and actually Lydia's most likely going to be the one that needs to rotate.
Oh, or not. Maybe Lydia Chlamydia here will be able to, you know, utilize this kind of off-tempo, off-balance strategy to her favor. She might catch one of the defenders out slipping if they think they're all together on that lane 1 side. So it could work out to her benefit, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. She's moving pretty carefully, not making too much noise, though it can be a pain sometimes to tilt that thumbstick just slightly forward to get that kind of crawling crouch movement to where you're not making any noise, but it's definitely something that can be trained. And yeah, you just gotta constantly be listening. If I can hear my footsteps, they can hear my footsteps, you know, stuff like that. In the military, they always taught us when we were going from cover to cover, a rule of thumb was, I'm up, they see me, I'm down. I'm up, they see me, I'm down. So that way you never expose yourself for too long when you're trying to move up between pieces of cover, and that's a strategy that I've tried to use in Onward quite a bit, though unfortunately some maps they just don't really allow for a short up quick down movement.
Yeah, the amount of cover definitely matters, and Suburbia is not one of those that has a ton of, you know, small pieces of cover scattered. It's more zones that you sort of want to control.
Right, and Lydia Chlamydia just there, Rob poked his head out on the eastern side of the tank there, and she just looked away right as he exposed himself. She could have had a free pick there.
I think Stingray's got to be careful here. Rob was checking this carport angle, but she manages to just slip out in time.
Ooh, a somewhat nice grenade from Lydia Chlamydia. A little bit too much arm on it, and Quokka's actually going to get a little anxious and push around to the side. This could be a flank here. I think Stingray's a little bit exposed right now. She needs to get herself into some cover.
She is going to be having to deal with Rob and Switch. I mean, this is going to be a tough push, even with that smoke, though. I think even just the call out is going to be enough to damage their ability to make that entry, and they're going to rethink that plan. The smoke's going to come out from...
Ooh, Pink, look left!
And Quokka's going to grab Pink as she comes out of the house. Switch is going to grab Thinaram inside the house, and that is that for Suburbia. 4-0. It's going to go to Ember. Yeah,
not what you want to see. I always hate seeing a map washed out 4-0 like that. But you know, the Killettos definitely showing some promise. As a new team, I think they'll do well. Just gotta put that time in, a little bit more practice, and you know, just time together as well. That's one thing that's often neglected. Is you can work on your coordination a lot, but the best thing you can do is just really get to know your teammates and really build that camaraderie between you, even if that means playing games that aren't honest. I mean, anything that you can do to just build that relationship up, build that trust between each other. That's one of the most key things, and I think it's something that the top teams have done well. I mean, the guys from Global Chem are very tight now ever since, you know, they've joined. But Beginners are a very tight crew as well. Danglers, SMC, very, very close to one another as well. And you can see that in their play. So that's often neglected, and I think it definitely shouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to be seeing our second map of the series. Now we're getting into Killettos' choice here as they start off on Marsoc, and the map choice is Quarantine 2. So this is something I definitely heard rumblings of, that the Killettos are starting to prefer the night map variants of a few of the league maps. So not a surprising choice here. Quarantine, you know, one of the most favored maps, I think, in Onward, and the night variant can definitely swing the advantage in a big way if a team has not practiced on it and isn't aware of the little sort of hidey holes and different spots that the defenders can hole up in. So if Killettos can grab themselves one Marsoc win this time and just hold their defenses, assuming it's been practiced, they could take this series to 1-1. It's entirely possible.
Absolutely. I mean, it's their map, so we're going to assume that they're going to have the advantage here, since it's, you know, something they're picking into confidently. However, yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. We could be going to a third map here for the season decider, and I really hope that is the case. I really do want the Killettos to get a map win here, and even a win in general. I know, you know, Ember doesn't want to hear that, and trust me, I'm not trying to be, you know, subjective or objective here, but yeah, I mean, I just want to see this team do well. I think it'll encourage them to continue playing, because I have seen a lot of people who in their first few seasons get discouraged because it's just, you know, loss after loss after loss, and you know, that gets frustrating. Sometimes losing isn't fun, and you know, so you just have to make sure that you can overcome that. And also seems like I see in the Twitch chat, Noman, that we have a few people who are new to the game, or maybe don't even know what this is. Why don't you tell them a little bit about what the whole point of this game mode and what we're seeing is here, for those who might not know what we're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So Onward is played competitively in a best of 3 match style. So 3 maps are played between 2 teams to decide the winner of a series. The game mode they're going to be playing, or have been currently playing, is called Uplink, and I liken it to a search and destroy style game mode, where one team is the attacker, and their goal is to get to the satellite dish that's somewhere on the map, which rotates every other round, and the defenders have to stop them from typing in the code. So offenders can win either by getting all the kills, basically killing all the defensive members, or typing in the code. And so each map is played to a best of 7. So the first team to get 4 wins, either on offense or on defense, is the winner of that map. So that is, in short, what this series is.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. Or maybe I could have, but that doesn't matter.
Well, I guess it's a competition now.
Well, I do see a bit of a roster change on the side of the Killettos. It appears that actually, I don't know who's disappeared. Oh, it's Lydia Chlamydia has left the lobby and has been replaced by Ferris, aka Vivian. You may know her from her in VR talk show called The Hive, that's hosted in Alt Space VR on Thursdays. She's a great member of the community. She's really fallen in love with Onward ever since hosting the rookie bootcamp tournament that we did a few months back in Alt Space. her and her team built us a version of Suburbia that people could come and hang out in while we live casted the games in VR on a big screen on the street. So that was really cool, and you know, she's done a great job at really promoting Onward, and even to the point where her own server has gotten a little annoyed with her because of how much she talks about Onward now. So we want to thank her for all she does in putting Onward out there, and you know, spreading the word through her channels and through her networking that she has, because she has a pretty interesting and good network of contacts that she works with on that show. So
yeah, definitely appreciate all that she does for us and for her team. I did just get word that the Killettos are going to be, I think they're taking a short 4 to 5 minute intermission here, I think, when one of their players gets ready. So in that meantime, we're going to kick you over to a quick intermission, but we'll be right back with map 2 of the Ember Killettos series. Thanks for sticking around. right, ladies and gentlemen, that tent is full. The players are in, and I am told by an inside source that the break is over, so we will be diving here into round 1 of map 2 shortly. We are seeing this village objective in this, what is that, southwest corner of the map. And I don't know, I like this objective a lot. This has a lot of interesting cap opportunities for you. You can cap from the opposite side of the wall there on the street. You can do it from the corner of the building. So if the offense gets a good enough positioning here, this is a difficult one to defend. And it's also going to depend a little bit on spawn. So we will see how the Killettos deal with that here shortly.
I'm just wondering, what did you call this objective?
Village. That's the village objective. Village garage. You'll have to excuse me. I'm one of the only casters who's still a player. I think me and Trip and Xandria are currently still players, so our call-outs from our teams will just happen to bleed into our casts. But that is the one that we... That whole little square area is what we call the village. And that's Village Garage, so... If you wanted to know.
Okay, I did.
Yeah.
Just because I've never heard it called something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, stay on your own team.
Can't.
Oh, too soon. Too soon. Okay. But yeah, we are getting close. I think actually Killettos had another drop. I think they're still cycling out a player, but hopefully my inside source was not wrong, and we will be diving into this second map here very soon. I do want to remind people in the chat to clip your favorite moments as well. We definitely love seeing those clips come in from the community. We use them for our V-Respawn show that Sleepy and Poodanners and a few other guys from the community do, Buxton as well. Those clips, they're our lifeblood. I mean, honestly, what's better than sharing clips of your friends blowing each other up or shooting each other in the face? So get those rolling into the chat. We love to see them. The players love to see them. Get your highlights in as much as possible. We do appreciate that engagement as well. We are still waiting on that last member to jump in.
I would thank you, Lydia Chlamydia, by the way, for correcting me on what that was that you guys were cheering in the last lobby. It was Stranger Danger that they were cheering at the start of each round there. No,
Stranger Danger, fantastic. I think I caught them on a murder route when I was watching their offense, but I think Stranger Danger is for defense. I would think that would be it.
Maybe.
Murder is the offense call, and Stranger Danger is the defense call, which actually makes sense. Well, if you try to make it make sense, it makes sense.
I'm not sure much in the world of the Killettos would make sense outside the Killettos.
Yeah, that is very true. The mystery to the casters and family and friends of the players, I'm sure. But nonetheless, we are jonesing to get this round underway. I am just checking with the teams to see what the holdup is, and we should be diving into that action very soon. We'll take you quickly over to the scoreboard so you guys can see what the series has looked like so far. So Ember really pulling out a dominating performance there on Suburbia. Almost getting that cap off in round 3. Ultimately finishing that off with a kill, but then able to cinch up another offensive and defensive round to close up the series 4-0 on what I would think would be Killettos' best map, but potentially that was Cargo. Maybe that's why the ban came out on Cargo.
Well, it looks like whoever was having the issues on the side of Killettos has maybe decided to swap out, because we are seeing Chlamydia come back into the lobby. Hopefully that will straighten out what's going on. I think that was Sky de la Ciel that dropped. Maybe they're having some issues keeping connected to the lobby. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that is something we have to deal with pretty regularly, unfortunately, but no matter.
A little tougher as of late. Some bugs being a little hard to deal with this last week or so, but the dev team is obviously plugging away hard at it. They did just release a hot fix. What was that, yesterday, Noman?
I believe that was yesterday, yes, right before the match that was casted.
Fixed a few things, introduced a few other things, but that's kind of the life in development. You fix one thing, it breaks 20 other things, because whatever it fixed is relied on by something else, and it just becomes a big hassle. So give them a chance, folks. You know, be easy on the devs. They are doing their best to try and give us what we want. They do, I think, a pretty good job at catering to the league players in general. They've given us so much while possibly, detracting from their own plans for the game. Maybe they've went a different route once or twice than what they wanted to do because of the requests from league players. But I think they've done a great job in kind of accommodating us over the years. And so just give them a chance, folks. We all know there's bugs, and that happens with any game, though. So just give the people a chance.
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
There you go.
Yeah, see, now you know what my voice sounds like.
With that intro theme song from Sleepy and Noman, we are going to be diving in finally to map 2, round 1. Ember on the defense, looking to close this series out against the Killettos. Nice and early. Rob does have the call out on the south side, and I do believe he had the correct count on members crossing to the north. Shots are going to ring out as they cross.
Only two cross the street to go north.
They will make it. Both of them will make it. Phenaram and Pink Stingray. But now they're going to be under some suppressive fire from the rooftop. Pink Stingray is going to try and find a hole between the two cement trucks, but the defender's going to have pulled back just a bit. He's going to take a peek on the corner. Pink, just hold this angle. I think you'll actually find him. Just be a little patient. Those defenders sometimes, especially with some of the newer players, or the mid-tier teams, they will get antsy and cause themselves their own deaths.
And now we're seeing some return fire there on Quokka's position. Quokka deciding to throw his gun for some reason. Rob grabbing a grade down there in the smoke. Caught it there in the distance. Ferris going down to that nade from Rob all the way from burning rubble there.
Jesus, that's actually a pretty impressive grenade, to be fair. Phenaram's going to find a nice headshot, though, on Quokka over here in the north, but Hailfire is going to be there to return the favor. Now it's going to be Pink Stingray and Hailfire matching up, but no, instead of holding the angle, Hailfire is going to retreat, fall back just a little bit, a tactical retreat, if you will. And maybe try and find a different angle onto the Pink Stingray.
So important. Tactical retreats can really win you the game sometimes, but that's not what we're focusing on here. We're focusing on Hailfire and Pink Stingray. She's got to find a way out of this situation, whether it's smokes or backing off to the backside of Motel and trying to cross on the far east side. Hailfire able to grab Aqua Fighter on a very nice angle there all the way into Tank Courtyard. I believe that's where she was. Yeah, indeed. And Ferris is left down. I mean, that gunfire did give Pink the ability to rotate into this blue dumpster objective.
Yeah, and it seems like Ferris was trying to give the call out to give Pink Stingray a little bit more information to utilize for her next movements. I actually think she's going to be able to find the drop here onto Hailfire. She's going to be sneaking up on him. If she just pushes up that building to the corner, she could peek out and grab the pick. But she's actually doing a really good job at what we call pieing the corner, which is basically making kind of a quarter piece of a pie or a circular shape as you move around a corner. And it's a good way to minimize the risk of your movement around as you are able to also maintain coverage on said corner. So it's a real life tactic that infantry and riflemen use in the field, and it is definitely effective. I've used it in this game many of times, and it has saved me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty great tactic there by her, but now she's playing against 4 members of Ember and the clock. She's down to 2.5 minutes. It's plenty of time if you're a veteran player, but for newer players, it can be hard to focus on time management as well as, you know, playing the safe corners and picking your engagements. So we'll see how she's able to handle the pressure of this 1v4 situation. I think this approach is the correct way to go. I think this is the right route to take. This will give you the easiest access to the backside of the objective with potentially the least conflict in most cases. If we take a look at the overhead map here while she approaches, we do see a pretty heavily stacked circle around the objective itself, but they are sort of recessed. They're not close to the objective. So, you know, she doesn't have a chance for a nade, but she has a chance at grabbing a pick, maybe grabbing a second one before the defenders can rotate in, especially that member of Ember who's all the way on center glass. But there's
What
definitely...
I'm worried about is going to be SliderCon, but she does actually make it past him. He's far west, but I was almost going to recommend she take the trench towards the Sarlacc pit side of the building instead of going far west like that. But she has decided to go far west. She's now at the western plane wing right near the back of the fuselage, and I think, yeah, SliderCon should see her at any moment, and he does. Gets the kill, and Ember will take the first round here on Q2.
Yeah, that was great plays on her part, but again, it's just... Sometimes
It's
it comes
tough.
down... Yeah, sometimes it comes down to a dice roll of who sees who first, and... You know, realistically, you can only check so many corners so quickly and so many hiding spots so quickly. You can't fault them for not being able to spot each other out, and especially with the night map variant, even with night vision, some of those little cracks in the walls can be tough to see through. So, good play by her part, but the offense there really never getting anything going. They sort of stalled out on their initial push across the street, and then they were stuck at cement trucks for a little bit too long, and a little bit too long on the south street there as well. I think maybe a little bit more aggression there would have helped them sort of unseat the defense and cause some rotations that could have given them an opportunity. But they will be transitioning now to the defensive side of the map, so we will be seeing how their defense stacks up against whatever Ember brings on Quarantine 2, this second map of the series.
Yeah, and now Killettos will be on the defense, so this should be a good chance for them to be able to get a point. Play the objective smart. I mean, if anything, you know, play a box defense, play a very tight angle. Just make sure the cap doesn't come out. Wait for them to come to you. I mean, that's the best thing about defense is you can wait for them to come to you if you're worried about overexposing yourself and taking an early pick on the defensive side. Get yourself in a nice tight spot where you don't have to worry about exposing yourself to various angles. Get someone right on top of that objective with their tablet on the ground, just able to sit there and just watch it. They can give call outs to if a team member goes down, if the time is running out, if there's been downs, that person who's right on top of the objective. And this is what my job used to be on Danglers, basically on defense, was to be right on top of the objective, tablet out, constantly on the comms, feeding my team information. We've got 2 down, we've got 3 friendlies up, we've got 3 minutes left. You know, then start to make audibles. Give me 2 clicks if it's this. Give me 5 clicks if it's this. You know, you can definitely work it out. But I think this will be a good way for Killettos to be able to get their first point here in the series, and maybe that'll start something.
Absolutely. We are diving into this second round of map 2 after that rousing cheer from Killettos, and we are going to be seeing what their defense shapes up to be. So Ember's getting that center spawn. They are able to get 4 members across to the north without being spotted. Chlamydia's here. Has got to be careful. Yeah, Quokka's going to grab her as she sort of lazily walks across the street. Definitely want to have a sense of urgency when you're rotating to your position, but...
Yeah, and that's going to be hard. That'll be the Killettos, one of their LMG, their heavy machine gunners down, and that could prove very useful later on in the round. But you know, c'est la vie.
We lost one.
C'est la vie. Fenoram here in the burning building upstairs with a 12x sniper rifle. Does miss Quokka as he rotates through that smoke, and a good rotation by him. He's going to get him across to the south side, but he's going to need to wait for his team to push up. Currently, his team is very stalled out on that north side. A little bit too timid in trying to take that rooftop, and against a more aggressive team, they would have lost rooftop a long time ago. But Killettos opting for a more recessed defense. Much like Sleepy was talking about, staying close to the defense, letting the offense come to you is a great tactic. Fenoram there under fire from Quokka. He does see movement up in the upstairs, but the call out does not come out yet for his team. Not sure.
Ooh. Fenoram playing a dangerous game with that G3, the 12x scope. Maybe not such a bad idea during the day when your sight picture is a lot more clear and you're able to determine what's what and who's what, but at night, risking that 12x can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're going to be seeing some action here on the north side as Hailfire's coming up onto the back of Pink Stingray. Not sure if she's going to be ready for these rotations. If Hailfire stays quiet enough, he could get the drop on Pink Stingray here. They are communicating. She's got to be listening. I think she might have heard one. Switch doesn't even look to the left. Misses Pink Stingray entirely in her position. Suppose we could turn the flashlight off. Yeah, that's... should be an easy pick.
But Hellfire's not going to miss it.
Hellfire.
And he takes down the Pink Stingray. Unfortunately, she was unable to hear anything before and get that pick because she definitely had a chance to take Hellfire down there and make Switch have to do a little back foot stepping, making sure that he doesn't get taken advantage of after walking right by her. Man, that was crazy.
Yeah, and Quokka now has moved up pretty far on this south side. He is already at the south windows. He's rotating across to gas station. Now it's just going to be up to Aquafighter and Ferris to try to suss him out, but they did hear him. The call-out comes out. Quokka's communicating with the enemy team. Rob, meanwhile, grabs Aquafighter from his position up on the rooftop. So she's no longer on that back wall to protect against Quokka's push. Ferris needs to stay tucked in here so that she doesn't get caught out as well.
Speaking of Quokka, here he comes, and he's playing it smart. He's going to go for the cap outside, but it's not going to matter. Ferris going to find Quokka and stop the cap. Great for her and great for Killettos. They're going to be able to slow down this push from, and Quokka's been the one kind of doing a lot of the damage here so far. He pushed up really early, was able to get Lydia Chlamydia, though was a fairly easy frag, and then he pushed all the way up to the south. I mean, he was ready to cap, but he just didn't have the support of his team, and that's the kind of stuff that you have to be thinking about when you're playing together. You have to be ready. If you're going in for the cap, make sure you have support, even if it's just one other guy able to watch your back. Make sure you take that second guy in there, or make sure someone's got an angle on it. So if you go down, they can get the refrag, open up that door, and get in there and get the cap themselves.
Yeah, definitely important. Important information for teamwork there. A good advertisement for teamwork there. But lots of communication coming out from Ember here. It's what I like to hear is the radio's going off, the information coming in. Whether or not it's changed is still important. Slider is able to spot Ferris out, but the shots don't land. They do have the information on her position.
Will Fenoram pop up and take him down, though, is my question. No, Fenoram, stop shooting. Oh, no, he got Hailfire. I thought he was shooting at Ferris there for a moment.
He did get Hailfire. Luckily, I was watching that angle, so I was confused as to why you told him to not shoot the enemy, but he does do that. And now Ember is into a 3v2, a little bit more even odds. Fenoram here is...
SliderCon is going to find Ferris. Fenoram could be pinned down here from suppressive fire. Oh no, and Switch takes a team kill, and he might end up getting, yes he does. Fenoram's gonna get the kill onto Switch, and now it's a 1v1. The Killettos are looking good to be able to take their first point, and it's just Rob 888 up on the roof. He's got less than a minute. He needs to get moving right now. He does not have the time to be sitting up there on the roof.
No, he does not. 42 seconds does not bode well for him, but he knows where those shots came from. He knows where he's going to have to focus his attention, but in 30 seconds, I don't know. I think it's going to take about 20 seconds just to get down to the objective, let alone throw out a cap. So he's going to have to be looking for a kill here.
Well, if we're going off of the capping of Ember so far in this round. It could take him a minute and a half to do it, so he might just want to go for the kill on the Phenaram and get the point. No, he's gonna pre-fire it. He's got 13 seconds. Phenaram would do best to just stay hidden here, but no, he's gonna take a look. Okay, just let him go, Phenaram. It's your best option here. He is gonna come up, but luckily Phenaram's moved off the stairs. Will he see him? No, and Rob is still gonna take the round, and Killettos will wait.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Ember is going to take that round.
My problem is it gave Killettos the point.
It did, but there is 1 second left on the clock, and I believe there was 1 second when he got that kill.
Yes.
So I think we will have to adjust the score. That is likely a bug. We did not see the out of time message, and I believe there was still time on the clock. In fact, there actually was time on the clock, so that round does go to Ember by a pretty great, but man, really skinny your teeth play there by Rob.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phenaram definitely, I mean, the only thing he really could have done, I mean, he couldn't have done anything in that situation, as we saw Rob pushed up into his building and was able to take him down. I guess the only thing that you could have done better would have been to just keep constant watch on that stairwell, because it seems like Rob actually was able to get up to that little platform and even kind of come about halfway up the stairs before Phenaram was able to even notice or get sights on him. So that's pretty unfortunate, because that was definitely Killettos' round to lose, and unfortunately they did. But
yeah,
it's not over. As we've been saying all night, plenty of time still for the girls to get things together.
it was definitely an interesting choice with the G312X there, but I have to wonder if the gun choice made an impact there, in that I don't know how much ammo he had left in that clip. I didn't see him reload, and I wonder if he just didn't have maybe he ran out of ammo entirely. I'm actually not. Be interesting to know from the team.
Did he fire any shots? I don't think I saw him shoot his. Oh yeah, he did shoot, because he did kill 2 people, so he did shoot, but he shouldn't have ran out of ammo, because I didn't hear him shoot other than those 2 kills that he got. So maybe I'm wrong, but
put quite a few rounds downrange, but maybe it wasn't. It's all speculation at this point. Either way, Rob does a great play there, rushes that point, and that I think brings up another really good sort of pointer for newer teams, is the importance of rotation. To rotate out of positions that have given that have been given up, either by the enemy team spotting you out or by you laying down some fire. While his play wasn't necessarily bad, the defense was aware of his position. Obviously, Rob basically just charged up into that building and got the kill. But had Phenaram rotated out maybe to the outside west wall, or if he'd have gone maybe to the south side and watched a street cross, obviously there's dangers there as well. You could get spotted out by the offense doing that. But keeping the rotations frequent, you do make it a lot more difficult for the defense to sort of just dial in exactly where you are, where you're most likely to be, and then pull off a rush like that. So it's important to remember when you're playing. Gunshots are pretty easy to hear, and they're not too difficult to triangulate the position of either. So got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I do think this game does a good job with direction and sound. I've always usually been able to kind of listen to the shot and almost visualize where the person is just based on the sound. So I think they did do a good job with the sound engineering in this game, as far as the 360 degree kind of spatial sound that's used. Because it gives you a lot of information just using your ears. But on your point as well, not only is it good for the offense to rotate, but in some cases, the defense needs to be able to adapt and rotate as well. I mean, we saw there Ferris went down on the objective, and now while Phenaram did the best thing by staying in his position, because he did have a direct overwatch over the entire area of the cap, he did have an elevation that would give him a bit of an advantage if he chose to do so. Unfortunately, it just didn't go their way. However, that defensive rotation and defensive adaptation, I've talked about this before, is just as important as shooting and moving on offense. If you lose a man or lose men or women in this case around the objective, you need to make sure that you cover those gaps. Make sure that your objective is defended above all else, especially on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of defense, we now dive into this defensive round for Ember, round 3 in map 2. Ember just putting up a very solid overall play. I was going to say defensive plays, but really just solid overall plays. And Killettos now crossing that street. I think they're throwing those smokes a little bit late, in my opinion. They were already crossing when they threw them out. But they are going to make it across the street safe and sound. Their first biggest obstacle here is going to be Quokka on this rooftop. If he decides to peek these smokes and catches them crossing the street, they could lose quite a few members of the offense very quickly, and they need to be rotating out of this position as soon as possible. Quokka, though, looks like he's going to be opting for a very sort of laid-back defense, though the Killettos shouldn't have too many issues as they push up.
One might be coming behind.
That's hanging out from the sky there, I think, are just suppressing fire.
Well, some good suppressive fire. That is one thing I will give the Killettos. They have taken to the use of LMGs and suppressive fire, and that is a great tactic. It's a viable tactic. You just have to make sure that your team is moving off of this suppression when you're doing it. So right now we're seeing not a lot of movement from the Killettos on their forward line. Meanwhile, you've got Sky back there just laying down that suppressive fire, keeping folks in their position. So in the future, I would suggest to Killettos that when you have someone like Sky who's down there just shooting rounds, just keeping the defense in their holes, which it sounds like she's already went through all of her LMG rounds because she's now using her pistol. So I don't know if maybe she gave out some drum mags to her teammates, but she's now suppressing with a pistol. And while not quite as effective as that big ol' LMG, it will still provide, it still gives a reason for the defenders to take cover. So, but going back to my point, the next time that you have someone like Sky who's going to be doing that, laying down that fire and keeping those people in their hiding holes, you want to make sure that you should, move off of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's important to have that coordination too, letting your team know in those that 2-minute pre-round discussion, letting your team know that you're going to be doing that sort of. Really, what I'm trying to say is that you need a reason to do the suppression and let your team know what that reason is. Because if you're just suppressing for the sake of suppressing, sure, you may be pinning a defender, but there has to be some sort of tactical reason for it, right? To be able to cross a street or get into across an open gap or things like that, where normally you wouldn't be able to if the defender was sort of trained on that position.
Right, absolutely. And it looks like the chat's thinking that last round that we had could be a bug, so we'll review it with the teams after the match or maybe between maps here. But according to our side, there was 1 second left. Hopefully there's no desync between the casters. Sky, though, she's going to find a nice pick onto Hailfire and shut him down, and that'll help open up the south. Smokes are now coming in from the Killettos, and this looks to be a good push. Pink in a nice pro move there. She's definitely not taking any chances. She puts the double tap into Hailfire, and now she's trying to find an angle on the defenders in the tank courtyard. This is looking good. I mean, Killettos with the right caps. Grenade coming in from the south wing there, not going to help out, but I mean, if they can take down Rob, Pink Stingray could actually make her way in here sight unseen and get this cap.
Really, it's just Slider con. She's got to deal with Slider, and if he rotates right now, she could basically just walk into the back of this defense unopposed.
Now she can, because he's completely moved up. There's nobody covering the backside. She's managed to get all the way around behind them, and both she and they don't know, it appears. And now Quokka, he's pushed off on such a flank on that rooftop. If his teammates go down here in the center courtyard by the tanks, that could be bad news. I mean, Quokka could be giving up a cap here, possibly. I think if he's going to go for a flank, he needs to go for a flank all the way.
Quokka does grab Sky as well there. He is just absolutely tearing apart this offense. It's lagged a little too far behind, but Rob goes to peek Pink Stingray, and Ferris is going to be able to pick him up on the backside of the tank. Well, the callouts will ring out. Slider here is going to come in and pick up Ferris as she rotates onto the objective. Shots ringing out
Last one behind our lines.
from Quokka. Do grab Phenaram, and that's 3 for him on the round. Pink Stingray, the last one up for her team. She's going to have to deal with Switch and Slider.
She could definitely do this, though. Yeah, getting by Switch will be the hardest part. If she moves... Ooh, she's going to walk right out in front of Switch. No, Switch isn't going to see it. Oh, my God, she's got tab out. Nope, here comes Slider Climb around the corner, and yeah, he's going to stop the cap. Ember's going to grab that round, and it will go up 3-0.
That was close indeed, Slider. That was probably as close as you ever want to cut it when it comes to somebody standing on the objective with you. But yeah, Ember is up 3-0, potentially 2-1. We'll have to review that game. And just an interesting problem. We had time. We had the correct banner show up, but the assignment was wrong. So, yep, we'll take a look into that, but the teams will continue to play. We'll continue to play on this Quarantine 2 map.
And yep, and now we're going to see just how the Killettos will defend this one.
And this one is so difficult to defend. Such
absolutely.
a difficult objective to defend. There's just so many different entry points, and if you don't catch the spawn out early enough, you can get caught out on bad rotations. So it's really important to try to nail down where the offense is going to be coming from and sort of try to box them in as best you can, so they don't have free run of the map. You can sort of see there, Ember did sort of allow for the Killettos to sort of control the center and the south. Had they sent one north and dealt with Quokka, it would have been a very easy cross for them to make on that center street because the rest of the defense was sort of recessed. So we'll see how the Killettos decide to play it. You know, I think Quarantine really does come down to how much real estate you give your enemy to move through, especially unopposed or unseen. So we'll see if they're able to pull something out here. And those fantastic beeps that we all love to hear do mark the beginning of the 4th round of Map 2.
And a tough defense and offense ahead of both teams here. This is not an easy objective to attack necessarily unless things just happen to fall your way. I mean, they got the north spawn, which is good. It is, I mean, this is probably my preferred spawn for this objective, simply because you can get north and south pretty quickly. I still like to stay kind of middle of the road though when I attack this objective. I like to do what I think that's Rob. Sorry, my camera is very far away from this player. No, it is Quokka, kind of pushing that south center route because there's a lot of cover to bound between there. You have a lot of easy transitions over streets. But yeah, I mean, going south isn't a problem either. North rooftop dominance on this objective is very good. I'm a little concerned that Sky's position there. She does have an LMG with a bipod on it, so I like the utilization of some different utility that we don't always see from our more veteran players. But I mean, if it just had a little bit more cover, it would be a great kind of suppressive defensive position. But it looks like, yeah, just as I said it and just as I see it, Rob gonna take down Sky there, as she is unfortunately very much out in the open. But Phenaram gonna return the favor and down Rob on the rooftop. Nice shot there by him.
Yeah, definitely. That is all the way from, I believe that's the top of the catwalk that Phenaram is on. But Rob is revivable. His team should be getting that revive soon, and actually there's some action happening here on the south, just on the other side of the wall from each other. Ferrist and Quokka be running into each other here pretty quick, but Quokka wins that trade. Ferrist goes down, and the south is opening up in a big way for Ember here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is pretty open now looking at the map. I'm a little confused. Do the Killettos No, they know where the objective is. They have to. I mean, Pink Stingray is sitting right on top of it, but Aquafighter and Phenaram doing more of a kind of a backside watch, which could end up causing them some trouble because it is quite a long rotation off that bridge or out of that building, especially around to where the objective is. So if Aquafighter, or I'm sorry, if the Pink Stingray does go down, this could be a troublesome situation for them to be put in.
Yeah, I really like Phenaram's positioning here, though. This catwalk is not very often seen in league play. This is one of those rare positions that is very advantageous. It's very dangerous, but on a night map as a defender, you have quite a big advantage being up here. I'm interested to see if this position works out. With a lot of favor for him, Rob's laying down some more fire from the rooftop, and that's got Phenaram's attention pretty much dialed in. But the Ember offense slowly starting to move its way up. Quokka's there on that south corner looking for Aqua, looking for Phenaram. Not going to find them, but they're not going to spot his rotation out either. And we'll see if Aqua's able to catch him as he rotates out. He is watching in that direction, just not peeking quite far enough. It's a dangerous peek because Rooftop has eyes on that position. And SliderCon is absolutely going to find Phenaram in that advantageous position.
And a nice headshot, too, to flip his body ragdoll style off that bridge. Now Quokka and Aquafighter should be squaring up here in a moment in the far east. Aquafighter moving very slowly, doing a good job of muting her sounds, but here comes Quokka. Is he looking? No. And Quokka gonna be able to get that pick. Now it's gonna be a 5-man push onto the objective, and poor Pink Stingray gonna have to do her best to fend off these hungry animals as the smokes come out. Some pretty terribly placed smokes, if I gotta be honest, but
yeah, not exactly sure what the coverage is there. Hellfire rushes in. She's able to pick one up there, and she rotates back into the position. Slider's coming around the backside here. He's got Pat out, but he's going to need to be on the other side of the wall. I don't believe you can cap from that angle. And shots ring out from Pink as she looks for Switch. She does find Switch.
Two. Slider tablet out, but he drops it to the ground and quickly pulls out the weapon in order to finish Pink off. And Ember will take the map and the series 2-0 here.
Yeah, a great defense by Stingray there in the end, but a little bit too late coming in as that push happened. But picking up 2 isn't too bad. I mean, it's such a tough situation to be in, especially with your team down like that. I think the biggest thing I noticed there was not a lot of communication coming out from the members of the Killettos as I was sort of watching them, and keeping that chatter flowing and making sure you're calling out, you know, potential spots or areas where you think you've seen a member of the offense, or just rotations. Anything that you can spot out and let your team know can definitely be a big help. But what I was able to really glean there is just not having eyes on the offense early enough. That's what we talked about earlier, is understanding where they spawned and what their possible routes were. And Ember really just kind of controlled the map and closed in on Killettos from all sides. So, yeah, well played by both sides, but Ember is going to take the series, and now we're going into the final map. And that final map is going to be Downfall. This caster's personal favorite map. For no reason, you know, just randomly. It's just my favorite map. But I am excited to see the teams duke it out here. So this is, we kind of stepped up. We went from, you know, short range map to mid range map, and now we're in the long range map. So we're kind of getting a taste of both teams on pretty much every type of engagement. Yeah,
I agree. Absolutely. And it is kind of a nice progression to go from kind of smallest to biggest. So I could see where going biggest to smallest would actually be a little bit more fun and exciting, just because you'll end up on that small map where close encounters are more likely to be, you know, more likely to be had, and so you know it'll peak the action kind of right at the end of the map. So I would think that going backwards would be great, but at the same time, you know, downfall is downfall. I don't know. I
Downfall, going downfall, says Sleepy.
my brain.exe just stopped working after reboot.
That is correct. Get right out of work and right into casting sometimes, you know? The marbles aren't all there. But hopefully the marbles are there for these two teams, because I do want to see a Killettos map get taken here, or at the very least a nice little competitive game. So far Ember has really been taking it to the Killettos and punishing those little mistakes, but there haven't been too many mistakes on either side. Just again, like we said earlier, spending more time in the game and understanding the maps and, you know, understanding the possibilities of where your enemies might be can definitely help them improve over the season. And really only in league play or competitive and, you know, not even all competitive lobbies, but most competitive lobbies, that's the best place, you know, to do that, to build that skill set, is to play against coordinated teams and understand, you know, why did you die? Why did we get capped on? And learning from those experiences. So I think we're just starting to see the very tip of the iceberg that is the Killettos, and Ember as well. Ember's
Yeah, Ember's game has been improving a lot. Last season they were struggling quite a bit, and even at the start of this season they weren't really having their way with many teams. I don't know have their record here on hand, but you know, they had a rough start to the season as well. So both of these teams showing some good foundations on the fundamentals. I gotta give it up to Killettos for still being so happy and cheerful, even after going down 8-0 so far. They are doing a great job of keeping their spirits high, so that's always a plus. But yeah, Ember playing very well today. I've only really seen a few things that I would comment on, and I think I've already done so in the cast here, so I won't harp on them too much. But yeah, the coordination is just a little bit off. They need to make sure that they know where everyone is. Have some support for their capper, because as we saw in that round where Quokka went in, he did end up getting taken out. Cap was stopped, and there was no one there to get the refrag on the defender. So, yeah, I mean, both teams just, I'm flabbergasted. I'm a little speechless right now, just because, just thinking back to like when I first started to play in the league, it was a fraction of the teams. You know, the player base was not small. I mean, it was still a pretty big game already in the VR community, but just to see how much this league has grown and all these newer people coming in wanting to compete in the VRML and compete in the league, and it just makes my heart full, you guys. It really does. So I appreciate every one of our league players. I appreciate all of our admins and casters and our entire staff within the VRML. Without all of us players and viewers included, you know, none of this would be possible, and our players wouldn't have the opportunity to be able to play on big stages at events like OC5 and the like. So thank you to everybody in the community, around the community, and, you know, running the community for all that you guys do.
Rob is gonna grab Ferris there. She comes out of the spawn just a few seconds after we dive into this first round of map 3, after Sleepy's monologue. And one member of the Killettos is caught out. Again, that's that awareness of, you know, you gotta leave your spawn as quickly as possible. The offense has a chance to get eyes on very early, and Ferris loses her life there as she rotates in. But the rest of the defense is what I would consider to be a relatively standard defense. I'll actually go to the overhead map here. Oh, and Hailfire is gonna grab Sky as she rotates into the butcher shop building.
Yeah, that was a direct headshot. I was following her up to the wall, and just 1 second she's running, the next second there was a shot, and she's on her face. So very unfortunate. And I think what happened to Ferris might be related to this new hotfix where, you know, when you get shot and you're bleeding, you can no longer sprint. So maybe that's why she was stuck kind of out there in the open. Maybe she had gotten winged before. Quokka, though, is going to grab Pink Stingray. Oh, he's on a flank. I was like, wait, how did anyone shoot her down here? But he is up on the north side by the red truck, that northwestern or northeastern side of the map, I should say.
Yeah, they're going to have to be really careful here. Pink is going to be able to make those call-outs to her team, but Aquafighter is really the first line of defense here. VRML does grab Switch as he approaches all the way on the south side. Aquafighter is going to be hearing those shots from Hailfire. She's got to rotate. He's got Pad out. Rob grabs Aquafighter in the back, and I think we're going to be seeing a cap here as the defense does not rotate into that defensive position. That was a great pickup by Rob there. Could have definitely sent this round a different way, and Hailfire does finally manage the cap. And Ember does grab 2 points there for the first time in the series with a cap.
Sorry, Ember. It's nothing personal. You know I love you guys, but
Yeah, some long caps coming out today. It's okay. They've been focusing on the kills. And a great headshot there from Rob to catch that defender in the basement. And that's another good example of rotations. Got to make sure you're staying on those tablets, making sure you know how many members of the defense are still alive, where they are, where your weaknesses are, and rotating in. VRML was able to grab a nice shot from these sandbags, but for some reason wasn't able to catch that rotation into the objective by Hailfire that went in there. But a great start for Ember nonetheless, and they're going to be diving into this defensive round here very soon on this third map. If you are just tuning in, you missed, well, 90% of the game, basically, but we have seen a pretty dominating performance by Ember, taking
yes, we have
both maps 4 and 0, Suburbia and Quarantine 2, and now we're looking to see if Killettos can get themselves up on the board before the entire series is over. And trying to take some of those sweet MMR points away from Ember. That MMR juice. Somebody find that. We should have made that an emote. Yeah, we're making mistakes.
Actually, thanks to Pink Stingray, I have an MMR juice icon, emoji, whatever you want to call it. So
fantastic. I'm so glad that we...
You'll have to ask her to donate that to you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll find it. I'll find it somewhere. It'll be there somewhere. So we did just have a round reset there, and the players will try to get back into this game as soon as possible. And I do want to thank everybody here for tuning in again, sticking it out with us on this Friday night. The teams duke it out. Got a ton of matchups coming up this weekend, so definitely stay glued to the Discord and to the Twitch channel. If you're following it, you'll be getting those notifications live, but otherwise check them out either on the VRML site or on the Discord as they get posted by our friendly VRML Android, the VRML bot. But tons of matches coming this weekend. Personally, I've got 2 myself tomorrow, I think. So lots of stuff. Stay tuned in to this hot Onward action. And speaking of that hot Onward action, we're going to be diving into a second round of it on this third map, as Ember looks to take their 3rd point after that. I was going to say timely cap, but that doesn't feel appropriate considering the situation. So just after their cap, looking to take this defensive round away from the Killettos. So Killettos are getting that south spawn. They're going for a 3-2 split. Woko rotating up here into this west red car position. Take some time for the members of the Killettos to spot him out. And the rest are going to be rotating through the ravine here in the south, and looking to make their push up, most likely the west street positions. But taking a look at this defense, I mean, you want to see a stacked defense. There it is. 3 members in the building of the objective. 1 in the crater building across the way, and the last in that east red truck position. So Ember not giving much of a care about aggressive positioning. Just looking to make sure they don't give up free 2 points to the other team. Smokes are coming out, some pre-fire coming out from Stingray there onto that helicopter building. And the sandbags, those aren't going to find anybody. You definitely want to manage your bullet spending on Downfall. It is one of those maps that bullets can get away from you much, much faster. And a trade coming out there from Hale and Sky. They're going to insta-kill each other, and we're into a 4v4.
Well, at least they did get the kill on both sides, because I know I always hate when I die and I can hear the person that I just traded with calling out saying, I got one, I traded, come get me.
Barist is going to go down here from a slow play and a good peek by Quokka. Aqua Fighter's not watching her back. She's gotta hear this, and the trade comes out there as well, but Aqua is still revivable.
Going to be an unlikely res, though, looking at the position of her teammates. You are seeing the tablet checked by Pink.
I mean,
She is communicating with Aqua.
They've got plenty of time to get that revive, and it's in a relatively
absolutely
safe position. So I would say that it would be definitely in their favor to do so, especially considering the enemy member count. But I'm not sure they're all entirely aware of how many people there are. That trade is usually very difficult to ascertain, and a rotation there by Slider almost gets punished by Pink Stingray. But he is able to make it into the basement of the objective, and now Switch is the only one outside of the objective, pushed up here on the ice cream truck.
No, man, I gotta ask, because it felt weird when you get in close proximity to the Killettos and hearing a female's voice come through the comms, where you're so used to just hearing these guys just, all the time. For me, it's been a little weird sometimes. I'll get close and I'll be like, oh, wait, I forgot. This is a girls' team.
It was a little strange initially, but gamers are 46% women these days. I mean, this is just VR is just finally starting to get that push from the female community, and more power to them.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not saying anything against them. I have no issue with the fact
definitely
that
not. No.
Actually, I appreciate that more than anything. I'm so glad that we were able to reach out and get women interested in this game, because it is a fun game, and we have had Edna Jordan in the community for a long time, Landon Jordan of SMC's wife, but she hasn't played too awfully much. We have seen her in a few matches here and there for SMC, but I'm glad to see that there are other women picking up and grabbing interest in Onward, because I mean, it is a fantastic game and it's fun for all. You just can't let the a-holes that are out there get you down and ruin your experience.
Yeah, I would say, statistically speaking, we have the lowest amount of those types of players in our league. So I
would agree.
That's the one nice benefit about having the community that we do, is that generally very kind to each other and very inclusive. And yeah, I'm equally as happy that we've got this all-girl team making waves in the league. It's important to, put in the effort where it's worth, and they're coming from the right pedigree. Like you said, we've got one of the family members of the Globochem captain team, or captain squad, as it were, and Pink Stingray here, obviously learning from, the best. No big deal. But
oh man, everybody put your waders on. It's getting deep in here. Omen is. Wow, he's.
She's learning from Vivian. That's what I meant. Vivian's the best. Duh. Don't be
good
silly.
save.
But she is going to be here with Switch on this corner. Who's going to be the first to spot each other out? And another trade comes out. Switch is going to be revival for his team.
Support has rotated away from her to go get that. I think maybe she was going to go try and get that res at one point, but unfortunately, that is no longer an option. And actually, I think Pheneram might be guy? I do recall
Yes,
that
yes.
the Killettos do have one guy on their team.
That is correct, and that is VRML here, who is running out of time. He's got 10 seconds to make this approach on the objective, but I don't believe he's going to be successful. And no, indeed, the time does run out.
If he had made that push 30 seconds earlier, 45 seconds earlier, with that kill he just got, he could have capped it and brought Killettos back. So I'm going to chalk that one up to poor time management, and time management is a big concern on maps like Downfall. But, you know, overall, I think that push without a few of the, you know, more open picks that were had against Killettos, I think overall that was a good push. And I think right there, like I said, VRML could have gotten that cap had that push come about a minute or so earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Sleepy? And I think we'll correct this as we go. I'm not sure what the best way to do this, but now noticing that since the Killettos ran out of time, my counter still shows 1 second left on the clock. So I think I will go ahead and say that the score was correct on that Quarantine 2 round as it was posted. So I think the out of time, for whatever reason, at least for casters, shows a 0-1 as the final time. So we'll see how we want to play that, but it does seem like more than likely Ember did run out of time, because the point was awarded properly if they did run out of time, and Killettos would have gotten that round win. But something I want to bring to the attention of Armand, who just also happens to be our caster right now.
Yeah, it is something that I do plan on talking to the teams about here at the end of the match. I'm not sure how we'll rule on it, because that point, while not completely changing the outcome of that map, it would mean that Ember wouldn't have completely taken the map, so we could have the map to be replayed. I'll have to I might actually need to pull Dokken in here as well to get his feedback on this, but we will talk about it. We will not let it go. If the Killettos did get that point, we will make sure that they do get credit for that point. But yeah, so thank you for bringing that to my attention. I do see that as well on my screen, and we will need to make sure that we send that over to the devs as well, so that we get that corrected going forward.
Absolutely, having those accurate timers, make sure that we're seeing the same things as the players see, and we're going to be diving into this very excitable round of Killettos defense. Well, the Killettos having a ton of fun there, and that's exactly what we want to see in these league games, making sure the players enjoy themselves overall and not being too down about their score.
They don't seem to be too down about anything right now. They are all salt and vinegar at this point. They are just energized. I mean, I got to give it to them. That's the kind of attitude that you need as you're coming into the league, and as you're taking your licks and taking your losses. You got to just keep that energy up, keep that spirit high, and just keep pushing forward. And that's one thing I will say I respect about the Killettos. I think they've done a great job at doing that, especially with this tough, really kind of devastating defeat that they've kind of come under with Ember here tonight.
Well, that is not the player I wanted to switch to. I wanted to check out this approach from Ember. So they're sticking very close together, opting to take this East Red truck. Quokka getting some nice shots there onto VRML. I believe that's on the backside of the butcher shop there, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's Fairest, I believe. I'm looking for... Oh,
yeah,
no, he is behind. No, yeah. He was behind... He's behind the brothel over here with
brothel.
Aquafighter.
Yeah, you're right. That is brothel. I don't know my own call-outs.
I was like, unless your call-outs are really different than everyone else's in the league, that is not butcher shop or ice cream truck building or whatever you call it.
Don't listen to Noman after work on a Friday. It's all nonsense at the end of the day, really.
Did you notice that we keep doing this to ourselves, though, Noman? We keep picking up these Friday right after work casts.
Yeah, that is that's more of a masochist thing than a league thing. We just really like punishing ourselves after a long work week by, you know, thinking a lot and doing math and solving problems. It's our favorite thing to do.
Now, Phenaram has been feeding his team information. Kuoka's sitting out here very much in the open. All Pink Stingray has to actually do is just kind of go around the side of that ice cream truck building and just pop up. She can take some quick shots and be able to lay Kuoka out and stop the most advanced push from Killettos.
I mean, Ferris is trained on this corner. There's no reason for Pink to give her position away, but Aqua's going to be the one that capitalizes on that call out. She is going to take down the forward member of Ember, and Kuoka's going to go down, evening the player count to 4 and 4. Some shots ringing out there from West Red Truck, and now the Ember offense is starting to split off a little bit, so they're trying to find their way into this objective. Pink does have a C4 set up here on the corner of the butcher shop. Switch able to grab Ferris. She's just down. Oh, and the C4 detonation right there would have just picked up 2, but Aqua grabs Hailfighter, and a little late on the detonation there. Rob able to sneak by, and he is within cap range. They have got to be careful here. He's got Pat out.
Yeah, Aqua Fighter may have an angle to be able to see him, though.
Sky is the one that's going to be taking shots. He takes his gun out, able to pick her up. Not a confirm, though. The callouts should be coming out here. There's the confirm. Shots coming out from Switch. Pick up Stingray. Oh, it's just up to one member of the Killettos to try to stop this. Aqua Fighter's not rotating to the objective. Rob has all the time in the world to put this code in.
I don't think she can see the objective from that angle, at least not where Rob is because of that wall. And so Rob's going to have the time. And if he doesn't hurry up, I'm going to start singing Jeopardy music again.
Yeah, he has got more than enough time to type this code in, and it does finally go in. Ember does grab that 2-point win and go up 5-0 as the final score on Downfall. And that is the series, ladies and gentlemen. Ember came in and really showed that progress they've been making all season long. Now, I think if this matchup had happened earlier in the season, we might have seen a closer score line. But Ember really sort of hitting their stride in the last few weeks and grabbing themselves a couple of good wins, and then capping it off with another win here on this fine Friday night versus the Killettos, who put up a pretty good fight, but definitely have a little bit of work to do on coordination and rotation. But overall, not a bad series for us to watch after work. Sleepy, what are your thoughts on what transpired here today?
You know, I think we saw Ember prove why they were the team to come out on top today. I mean, granted, they do have the experience in the league, but Killettos put up a fair fight, and, you know, they definitely have some work to do, but I think they have a good foundation, and they just need to keep building off of that. And like I said, spending more time together, more time practicing, and I think they'll do just fine. It's just those new team, you know, it's just what happens when you're a new team. I mean, a lot of these guys have been playing this game for so long, and some of the ladies and the gentlemen on Killettos are really new players, so, you know, it's hard to tell right now. I guess we'll get a better idea, you know, by the end of the season maybe, or maybe even the start of next season as to what Killettos will really be capable of. But I think we got a good match out of it overall. Ember did deserve their win. They did take that, and now I've got to focus on whether or not we did misappropriate a point to Ember in map 2. So I'm going to be working on that for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and we will have that adjusted before teams enter their scores, but that is going to do it, I think, from the casting desk for today. Like I had said earlier on in the cast, we have tons of matchups coming this weekend. I think we have 3 or 4 on Saturday, and I think just about the same amount on Sunday, all throughout the day, so go ahead and tune into those. But if you're interested in joining Onward Master League in any capacity, you can join the Discord and visit the VRML site. Both links are available in the Twitch description below the video. We do love having you guys in the Discord, in the Twitch chat, hanging out with us all the time. It's also a place where you go if you want to find a team or sign up to be a reservist. We do want to say thank you to our current chat, and thank you for hanging out and dropping those biddies and dropping those subs, getting those new hot emotes into your repertoire that you can spread throughout the Twitchverse. But I believe that is going to do it from us here at the casting desk today. Sleepy, any other final words before we sign off?
Nope. Just want to say, as usual, thanks to everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Thank you for the clips. Thanks for the bits, the subscriptions. Love seeing those new emotes coming out in the chat. And thank you guys again so much for tuning in. We'll be bringing you more Onward action all weekend, as Noman said. And yeah, I mean, thanks again. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you guys tomorrow.